Hello, my name is Shada Gabuyo and I'm doing the digital story for my community health class. For the course objectives and what I've learned over this course and how it applies with the pandemic, I'll start with one when we did our vulnerable population. Basically, with that subject, I was able to research, of course, the vulnerable populations. I decided to do a post on people with HIV and Hep C, and I was able to find out basically throughout the discussion post the top reasons or the top causes of how they get it, basically finding out resources of who they could talk to and being able to provide help or resources in that way and support groups. So that's what I learned for the first discussion post and the ones that came after. Another thing that we did was the windshield survey. For the selected population, I was able to go around certain parts of Greenville and travel the areas to see what the environment looked like, what or who the people were interacting with, basically that certain group, and seeing how they reside, and to be able to again find the correct resources to be able to one, provide what they need, to be in close proximity to what they need as well. For the case studies, we were supposed to basically predict outcomes, create nursing goals for that patient. With this, I was able to critically think and decide what medications the doctor would probably prescribe, what was going on with the body and that person's what was going on with the person, with their body and their health and their diseases. Also, I was able to, we were asked to discuss 3 months after what they would look like after our interventions as well. So I was able to critically think and write that down. Also put in the resources that we need, and any outside help from the hospital, any outpatient resources. Another thing that we did was the nurse role interview. I chose a hospice nurse. I was able to come across her due to a friend that I actually work with. She was able to provide me why she chose what she chose, how she got to that point, what she does on a daily basis, and that was able to provide me on some insight as to why I do not want to be a hospice nurse. I just feel like that is a different level of heartstrings being pulled, and I don't think I'd be able to handle that on my end. I work in ICU now, but I've had a couple comfort care patients alongside their family as well, and just when they die, it's kind of hard to see that happen, but I know that's part of the job as well. But it also allows me to empathize and have sympathy. So that was pretty hard, so I gave her props on that for doing that as her career choice. Also, what we did was the health screening. We had to figure out a way to basically be able to do this with COVID and everything. I decided to do it at my job where I work, socially distanced, having masks on as we usually do. Be able to ask them questions and be able to take their blood pressures due to us being with the same group of people every single day. Also, most of us are fully vaccinated, but we still keep the masks on in the hospital as well. I've also learned through this time, while COVID is happening and how people are still having to be socially distanced, well, as before, people have developed more customs into telehealth, so that people could have a virtual doctor's visit. I see that happening more now. I'm pretty sure that will continue to increase as time goes on. So I did see that happening and how that relates to the pandemic and reaching out for resources as well. I feel like it is hard though for some people when some things that it's hard to get in contact with. also when it was going on when we had to stay in the house, I felt that took over mentally. So being that said, I'm kind of happy that the telehealth did happen. Yeah. Okay. And that concludes my digital story for my community health class. And thank you for having me.